Can't pass up an opportunity. All right, so what is it in the Catholic Church when they do the communion? Boing, boing, boing. These are wobbly now because I poked bigger holes through the center. So there's little bitty punctures pushing up on each other, which makes my snack wobbly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, see, these are bigger, making little Oreos. Little gear-like things to go on my machine. Made my hubcaps earlier, so that I don't have to hang these things on fake little paper clips. Fix them on. Yeah, symbol. Say, himself. New, with 2 W's. Ooh. Yeah, so like the communion, right? The wafer. The wafer. About yay big. A plane. It's interesting too that the first 4 letters of planet, or wait, no, 5 letters, is plane, planet. So you got flat earth and round earth, but in one word you got both of them. Also, these curl up. So when this curls up, it's about the size of a little glass of wine. Has a ribbed stalk. The most famous lookalike, like when you get into wild carrots, the most biggest warning is don't accidentally eat. Don't accidentally pick poison hemlock. Poison hemlock, which Socrates drank to kill himself. Did he? Or did unsuspectingly someone sneak in some wild carrot so that he could drink something good for him instead of something bad for him? Never mind that we think that Socrates, like popularly it's told that Socrates, sock, the root. Socrates is thought of as, like, we always think of the Greek tradition as Plato and Aristotle and Socrates, and we think that's the lineage, but it's not. That's the popular culture lineage, and it's not true. But yeah, poison hemlock. A non-cruciferous, like something called poison hemlock, so you think it's a hemlock, but it's not a hemlock. It's a little plant like this. It's a little weed that grows beside the road. It ain't nothing, but we call it hemlock. Call it poison hemlock. It's the most famous doppelganger of a wild carrot, of the bird's nest. Ain't nothing pine about it, but there is something pine about this. So by calling it poison hemlock, we're making the connection between the object of interest and its doppelganger. Much like Socrates was not the father of the Western tradition that we think he was. He's the doppelganger. No, nothing against him. Just saying. And supposedly Plato was a dropout from the Pythagorean school, which is still a major accomplishment. I've dropped out of 2 schools 3 times. That I wouldn't call platonic. But yeah, the wafer. The Eucharist. Interestingly enough, as I believe this is a Fengodidae wasp. They're parasitic wasps, you know. They lay eggs in other organisms. A lot of wasps do. They're parasitic. And a lot of Fengodidae wasps lay eggs and they parasitize other wasps. But there is Fengodidae wasps who only parasitize other Fengodidae wasps. And there was one species that I found one day online, and I can't find it elsewhere, but its like species name was related to the word Eucharist. And it was super small and crystal clear. Crystal clear. Its whole body was crystal clear. It looked like Wonder Woman's plane, at least from the cartoon. I haven't seen the new movies. I don't know if she still flies in like a crystal clear plane jet thing or whatever, but back when I was a kid, Wonder Woman had a crystal clear plane. And yeah, so there was this like Eucharist Fengodidae wasp that only parasitizes Fengodidae wasps. And that's kind of like the eagle and the turkey. And I was talking about the turkey before, and talking about how this originated in Turkey. And I've also talked about the turkey, talking about Benjamin Franklin, who wanted our national symbol to not be an eagle, but to be a turkey. And on Thanksgiving, we butcher the turkeys. And Gobekli Tepe was in Turkey. And Zoroaster was from Turkey, who Raphael places himself beside in the School of Athens painting by Raphael. Meanwhile, they are not in the Temple of Athena, which is symbolized by Lincoln's monument. And the Fire of Borgo in the room of Raphael. The painting considered Raphael's prophesizes the National Mall, prophesizes the Lincoln Monument, prophesizes Harriet Tubman, at least as depicted in the movie, with a white woman giving what looks like a dark baby girl to a dark man in the Harriet Tubman / upside down Dorothy garb, much as Moses's Jewish mother gave him to the Egyptians. Moses, the nickname of Harriet Tubman, as was Mint, her nickname. See how old this thing is? Be fruitful and multiply. The first commandment, be fruitful and multiply. It doesn't say hump like a rabbit and multiply. It says be fruitful and multiply. Build an orchard. It doesn't say fuck everything and have a bunch of kids. Not saying that's wrong. It says be fruitful and multiply. Plant an orchard. Eat your fruit. They say eat your broccoli. Fuck broccoli. Turkey. Benjamin Franklin. There's this, well, Benjamin Franklin, he made his, Poor Richard's Almanac or whatever. So that's astrology, astronomy. The most famous, oldest known that I know of astronomer is from India, Aryabhat. Take a look at the statue of Aryabhat they got commemorating him in India. See who he looks like as he points like this, like Socrates, like Malcolm X, like so many others. Looks like Benjamin Franklin. It's a whole lot more recent than Turkey. I think I actually said what I needed to. Yeah, all this shit was built. It was built by storytellers who knew things. It was built by mathematicians who were storytellers. It was built by storytellers who were musicians. It was built by musicians who were generals. It was built by generals who were beggars on the street. It was built by beggars on the street who are our brothers and sisters, figuratively and literally. It was built by our brothers and sisters who are our parents. It was built by our parents who were and are our peers. It was built by our peers, which are our ears. Good and bad alike. But there is an end. We're going somewhere. There's somewhere to go to. The cataclysm is coming. We're on the launching pad. The fire is coming. The explosion is coming. The only difference, the only choice, the only question is if we explode on the launch pad. Are we going to perish on the launch pad, or are we going to shoot up? And when we shoot up, are we going to dissolve in the atmosphere like the Challenger, or are we going to break through the threshold? Are we going to attain escape velocity? Which might be the wrong synonym of a word, because so much of like magic and science, society, culture, call it what you want, so much of reaching has been trying to reach beyond us. One hand up. What's the symbolism of one hand up? One hand is up, while one hand is down, grabbing, cliffhanger, right? We make it up together. We're not the Superman, Ubermans with both hands out forward. We got one hand down, reaching to pull up, and we got one hand up, reaching to be pulled. That's the train we're on. That's the chain of consequences. That's the train of consequences, of choices, of free will. We're on. You know. And if we don't all get out, you know, if some get out and some don't, the ones who get out dissolve, and the ones who don't fall back down. We all get out together, or no one gets out. Get out of what? This shit. What's this shit? The way we are. What's the number one cause of pain in the world? And especially at a quote-unquote quantum entanglement level. Quantum entanglement, quantum entanglement, quantum entanglement. If two electrons can be paired in a laboratory, it doesn't mean like, oh, this is something that can happen. What it says is, this is the shit that's happening already. When you pair two things together, you're unpairing them from what they're already paired to. Shit's already paired. Everything's paired and paired and paired and paired and paired. So the choices we make, and when we cut up something with eyes and a spine, we're making a big mistake. And the quantum entanglement crisis is enormous. So we got to stop now. If all the Christians, Jesus came to save me from, Jesus came to save us all from our sins. Yeah, but why? So that you didn't slaughter animals anymore. It's right there in the fucking book. Stop making animal sacrifices. I'm gonna die for all you motherfuckers, so you don't have to kill animals anymore. That's the whole point. That's the whole fucking point. That's the whole point. Millions of people all around the church, all around the world, 30,000 different sects listed in America of Christianity, blah, 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 this, that, whatever, Rome, Protestantism, da-da-da-da-da, never mind the other Abrahamic religions, never mind Moses, the lawgiver, First Testament, be fruitful and multiply, not hump like a rabbit. It's like you gotta appeal to reasonable people, you gotta appeal to emotional people, but we gotta marry the emotion and the reason. You gotta marry the emotion and the reason, and the sympathy and the empathy and all of it. It's not about segregating this emotion or that emotion. It's not about not feeling bad. You should feel bad. If you're empathic, you should feel bad. Some of the most gifted psychics, prophets, most reasonable people who have the most to offer are the most tortured, because they're receiving these quote-unquote radio wave impulses of dying fucking vertebrates who are psychically beaming through quantum entanglement to you, saying, ow, 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 ow. In the case of chickens, pre-coronavirus, 50 million a day, at least 50 million a day. That's 50 million owls coming down on your dome every fucking day. Every fucking day. You like little birdies? Little birdies, they're pretty. 50 million of them a day. Ow, 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 ow. Except it's not like that. I don't feel like screaming right now, but you get the point. And that's just the chickens, never mind the pigs, never mind the cows, who we bred to be docile and stupid. Just like those who understand how this works and have actively participated in that system have done it to us, to make us docile and stupid. But we're not. There can be no awakening, and there can be no escape, and no one can be left behind. So when you think about culling the herd, remember you're part of the herd. The good shepherd protects the animal for the sake of protecting the animal. Period. We wouldn't want the dinosaurs to come back. It's not our job to save every shark. It's our job to save the weakest and meekest among us. Cherish their love and their fragility. And protect their beauty, their true, gentle beauty, so that that beauty may grow and become strong. That's our job. And that's our job with each other. No one left behind. In that sense, the Marines definitely have it right. No one left behind.